Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you enjoy part 2 of Dark Skinned Women on Colorism. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Bye.
Looking at Instagram, where's my question going? I have no idea. How do you feel that comparing it to now and when first it came out, how do you feel that has that changed for the better for like black women?
Yeah.
Or is it still, it's just because of what we're searching? Like you said, it's tailored to my explore and what I'm searching. Is that just how it is? Is that the same with Instagram as a whole?
I think now, yes, we are. Like, for me personally, when I go on pages, right, I like reading comments. Some shade room comments are the worst, but like I love reading that shit. Usually when there's like a dark-skinned woman on the thing, the comments are amazing. Like people are like praising them. I think it's us doing it, the dark-skinned women praising other dark-skinned women.
100%.
That's just
why
the way it
now,
should be. Yeah, which is the way it should be.
It's good, yeah.
We finally found a way to actually like praise ourselves now. It's us doing it. It wasn't the light-skinned people doing it. The light-skinned people didn't start doing it. We started doing it.
Yeah, for us, so we created our own space.
And
Yeah,
I feel like it's become more of a universal thing because it's also sort of a trend. And I feel like this
It is a trend.
I feel like this it links into so many other things. It links into relationships because then now every white girl is trying to be with a dark skin dude, or every white guy is trying to be with a dark or non-black guy is trying to be with a black girl. White girls, I'll give you the perfect example, the Kardashians. They do their makeup so that they look a couple of shades darker than what they actually are. So everyone wants to either have a darker skin tone and look darker in some way, or be with a dark skinned person, but then they don't actually want the problems
that come with being that is dark skin. Exactly, yeah. You touched on it being a trend, and someone, I don't remember what I was reading, it's probably on Twitter, they were saying, you know, dark skinned women are praised. You see, when she, like, so someone like, what's her name, Bria, the one with the really nice ass, the really beautiful body. Like, you praise them and you say, oh, you're beautiful, she's dark skinned, exactly, and she's not always oiled up, she's a really beautiful girl. So are we only praising her or praising women that look like her or look like us on social media, and are we carrying it out into the world? Or is it only on Instagram when the lighting is right? When your skin is well moisturized and you look a certain way and have a certain type of body.
Because we have girls that look like that in everyday life.
I'm sorry.
No, for sure.
I'm so glad you said that, because then I feel like, again, with social media, it's tricky because it's not every dark-skinned woman that's praised. I feel like
you have to.
Like, if you look at the girl that, what's her name?
Brienne Miles, I think that's her name.
She's flat. She's dark-skinned. She's got hella body.
Yeah.
I feel like if she was like me.
What's wrong with you?
I'm on the smaller side. Okay, I definitely don't have her body. It would be a completely different situation. It would be completely different. I feel like she's praised because she's like a triple threat.
Yeah.
But then you have Bria Miles with her hips and whatever. Then you have Ducky.
Yeah.
Ducky Thought. You have Leonie Anderson. You have Danai, you have Lupita. They're all small, petite.
Lupita's not just...
No, but she got an ass too. Yeah, like.
But what did it take for them to be praised? They had to do a hell of a lot. She had to be in Black Panther to get that. Like, you know,
and she's not necessarily praised because she's black. She's praised because she's just a badass actor, and she just happens to also be black. And I don't know. I also, when it comes to mainstream media, I think there's a distinction here we should draw between like mainstream media and like social media. Social media will always give you a curated experience, right?
Exactly.
And so while we see a lot of people of color on our Instagrams, that's not representative of
what everyone else
majority,
right?
What is what is actually happening with the majority is what we'll see on mainstream media, right? And how much do we feel represented in mainstream media? Because I think that's also another question that we wanted to touch on, is when you watch mainstream media now and comparing that to in the past, do you feel represented in mainstream media?
No representation for anyone who is not white.
Right. But is that, because I think there's also like a distinction to be drawn between racism and colorism, right? And sometimes I think we like
It's very easy across those lines. It's very easy.
So I think that's like a racist issue, right? But like, as far as colorism is concerned, is there anything that like you think is reflective of colorism in mainstream media?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, I think dark women are like represent like they're trying to
Where,
work.
babe?
Really, when it comes to modeling, when it comes to if you look at it,
Okay,
they are
talking about print.
even when I'm told like about people who are already signed to model agencies, they're like, if you are dark, you are most likely to be signed. They will sign you,
right.
you know. And like I think in that area, I don't know about it, obviously in television.
But then doesn't that just go back to it being just a trend?
Yeah.
Do you think it's always gonna be like that?
trend.
No, I feel like at some point, all of this dark-skinned women being mainstream modeling, I feel like it's completely gonna die out.
Yeah.
It's a wave. It's gonna come. It's here now. I feel like it's gonna go.
You reckon?
Because it's not genuine, it's more of like, you know what,
exactly.
this is what's in right now.
This is what's
Let's
in
give
right
them
now.
what they want.
This is what's making money. If we have if we have a dark-skinned girl on the cover of this magazine, it's gonna
And
sell.
I think as black people, this is something that we should be mindful of, because when producers or entrepreneurs want to sell to black people, they'll use black people on their covers so that they can sell their products
Exactly.
to. That's not necessarily inclusion. That's just someone looking to
That's
make
just
money,
money off it,
right?
no,
And it's not necessarily representation.
Yeah.
It's just giving you what you want so that you can see yourself in the brand and buy the brand,
Yeah.
right? Representation to me is more like, where are our black politicians, right?
Yeah.
Where are our black badass people doing things that, you know, economically empower themselves and their community, right?
Right.
To me, that's representation and real inclusion, right? And so often when I think about Instagram, or I think about, I don't know, any other sort of like social media platform where you see a lot of black people, I'm just like, yeah, cool, but I think it's great. I think it's great that we're seeing black people, I think it's great that black people are more visible, because at least then that takes the visibility thing out of the table. But then it's like,
Now,
it's more
how do
like
we get
actually
represented?
empowering black people, right? And I think that, again, it comes back to what I said. I think that's like the next thing now is to be like, yeah, it's great to have Fenty Beauty, but like, how do we create, I don't know, maybe it's about creating more Fenty Beauties,
or more black people that are like Rihanna, who are in those spaces to create things for us and not just as a trend. Have you guys experienced any challenges being if you can dark skin in Australia or back at home, whatever it may be? What challenges, if there are any?
I'm gonna say no.
I don't think I have any situations where I've experienced colorism specifically. I think I've had situations where I've experienced racism. None that I can say were colorism. And I actually have had a friend say to me before, she's much darker skinned than I am and larger than I am. And she said to me, she was like, it was in the context of like a broader conversation, and she said to me that, you know, Precious, sometimes you have to think about the fact that you probably enjoy a level of privilege being in Australia. The way you experience and move around this particular context of the world, you might enjoy a certain level of privilege that I don't, as someone that's much darker skinned than you and also larger than you. And that was not really something that I thought of, but I thought it was really interesting that she brought that up, because to me, when you're in Australia, we're all black, right? I just kind of thought white people will look at you and just think that's a black girl too, right?
Yeah.
And then she said, it can be that simple, but sometimes subconsciously people have biases that extend beyond race, right? Which to me, I was like, absolutely makes sense, right? And so I think that's also another like interesting thing to think about, is like, in what context are you enjoying privilege versus contexts where you are you're being disadvantaged, right? So I think, and I think again it like comes down to that whole racism versus colorism thing. Is like, I think we've probably all experienced
Racism,
whether like very explicit or just subtle.
You can go right ahead, Anasha, as you were saying.
But I did notice that in a room where it's full of black people, and for example, if I'm with my best friend who's hella light skinned, I still feel this need to like minimize myself and like
Let her shine.
not even let her shine. It's just, well,
just
Don't even bother.
well,
Like, why bother?
like, why bother? Like, who's paying attention to you anyways?
Okay, no, I get that. No, I get that. Yeah.
The world is so
Yeah.
So I literally just minimize myself. I keep to myself.
Mind your business.
I speak when I'm spoken to. Whoever approaches me is who I talk to. I don't. So
you don't try to put yourself out
I
there.
don't try to put myself out there.
And why is that? Is it the skin color thing?
I feel like one is the skin color thing, and I feel like that also stems from my experience in high school with knowing that like no one really was checking for you or not even in like a girl boy context, but
Just in general,
no one was really checking for you if you were on the darker side of the spectrum. It's like you were just there. You know, all the people who were socializing and having fun together were all the dark skinned guys with like lighter skinned girls.
Right.
So it was, I guess it's just how I'm social.
I think we've all.
Yeah, your colorism experience.
What was the question? The challenge.
The challenge
If there have
question,
been any
yeah.
challenges. I guess my biggest challenge that I had to overcome was the insecurity thing, and I can go back to saying what I mean. I can go back to what Pinasha was saying about the way we grew up. Like in high school, no one was really checking for the dark skinned woman. So I guess with me being that young and not really knowing myself, like we said, it started to seem to me that I'm not that attractive or I'm not seen as attractive, and obviously that took a hit to my insecurity. And I guess that was the biggest challenge I had to overcome within myself and be like, I'm not pretty despite my color, I'm pretty because of my color. Like I'm dark skinned, yes, but it's not a shocker that we can be pretty even though we're not light skinned or yellow bone.
Yeah, okay. For the purpose of this video, I'm dark skinned, but I've never gone around and been like, oh.
Yeah, but a lot of people have had that experience because of the environment. They do struggle speaking up. They do struggle with the confidence. They do struggle seeing themselves as, you know, I'm worthy of attention and I'm worthy, you know, of all this.
Yeah, not everyone is
not
everyone.
everyone. Exactly.
And not everyone is hearing the same messages that you did.
Yeah. People are being bullied. People are people are bleaching their skin. That's how bad it is. You know what I
Our
mean?
parents used to have this thing when we were younger of don't play in the sun.
Yeah, because you're gonna get too dark. Yeah. Guys,
Put on sunscreen.
Put on. You stay with it.
You know, I do that sometimes now because foundation is so expensive.
Like I can't be out here
I got like a little squeeze bottle, which is like a darker shade. So sometimes I forget, like I'm like.
But like, okay, that's where I'm like, okay, maybe my experience is like completely removed from this whole color conversation because I played in the sun.
Right.
My mom played in the sun.
Yeah.
Like my uncles, my aunties, everyone was just like.
And you were never told, be careful, you're gonna get too dark.
Because come inside, it's too hot outside. Or it was never like, you see your cousin over there who's, you know, or but your brother is dark. Like it just like that never happened in our household.
Right. But to be honest, I feel like while yes, it might be common in some households that like, you know, where moms are like, don't play outside too much, you know, make sure you wear sunscreen when you go swimming or, you know, things like that. I feel like, because in my household, it definitely wasn't the case where my mom was telling me to come inside.
Yeah, same. It was distant relatives. It was other people that were telling me.
All the
external people,
all the external situations that you have with people, and like for example at school with relatives, telling you, oh, you're so dark.
You're dark. Hey, you know what happened? Like, I haven't seen you in a while. She was dark.
Someone said to me when I went back to Zimbabwe, wow, you think you'd be lighter because you came back from Australia. I was like,
and because you're not used to having that at home, because I didn't have that at home when my mom was telling me, you're too dark, come back inside the house. When someone did say it to me, I would really hear it. Because it's not something that I hear often, it would really hit. And it carries on with you. Like for example, I remember in high school, I was really good at swimming in primary school. I was a great swimmer. In high school, I stopped swimming. Because you know how we are. You go in the pool, you're gonna come out 10 shades.
You come out. I don't know what it is about pool water, but it makes you
and then all of a sudden, everyone has school's making fun of you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
first of all, I'm already dark as I
Yeah.
am. Now I've gone in the pool, I come out, I'm 50 shades darker.
Yeah.
Everyone is making more fun of me.
Yeah.
So, and those are things that I then carried into my adulthood as well. Going to the beach, I wouldn't want to go to the beach because I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just certain things that you then carry into adulthood where you're like, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Summer, I love summer, but then there was times where like, it's like, no, I'm not going to go outside because when I come back inside, I'm going to be 3 shades darker than I am now, and I don't want to be darker than I am now.
Yeah.
I constantly have to do the
work.
the hard work and the mind work and be like, look, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You are what you are.
Yeah.
Skin tone, it's just skin tone.
Yeah.
Like it's not who you are at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I feel like even though it's not prevalent within the home,
Yeah.
it's
It's
all
an
those
external
little
people
experiences
out
that you
there.
have
Yeah,
with people
yeah.
that like really dig deep and
Yeah.
like
It's interesting that you mentioned that whole like, oh, if you're darker skin, if you're dark skin and you're pretty, then you're really, really pretty because light skinned people can't pull off, can't be dark and still be pretty.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's just like women pitting women
Against each other. Yeah.
and being like, oh well, like since we dark people have been made to feel bad about ourselves,
Let's turn it around and then put it on
I'm gonna
you.
retaliate
Yeah.
and make sure these girls know that they're only pretty because they're light skinned, and that's really not how
Girl, can I say something about that? Yeah, I want to say
Yes, ma'am.
something. My little sister is really light. Like, we have the same parents. She's like really, really, really light. And she says that sometimes, like what she used to experience in high school, people of like a darker hue would not want to take pictures with her. They'll be like, no, you step out of the picture.
That
You're
happened
too-
to me too.
You're too light. You're gonna just like, well, I
Yeah.
don't know, take away all the shine or whatever. And I think that's why when you said we're pitting each other against
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to. What we need to move away from
Yeah.
that. We need to move away from light skin versus dark skin.
That's happened to me too, where
Yeah.
two of my really good friends who are darker than me will be like, sis, maybe sit out.
Yeah.
Sit this photo out because
that's
You
an
stand
insecurity
out.
thing.
It's an insecurity. It's an insecurity.
Yeah, like, oh no, she's light skinned, she's obviously gonna look better
than me. She needs to step out of the photo.
That's
And
an
it's their
insecurity.
problem, not yours.
And that's your problem, not yours.
or like, oh, you like, light skins be doing us dirty in these photos because they be popping and like we
And then it starts becoming an internal. It starts becoming an internal thing, and you're projecting it onto
Onto
them.
other
Yeah, you're
people,
projecting it onto them,
exactly.
and that's not fair. So just while we're on this topic, someone who's doing her name is Nene. You guys have met her. She's a DJ in Melbourne. She started this page or this thing.
Afrocentric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She started this page called Melanin Loading, and it's towards the whole colorism thing. She wants to like put people together, whether you're light skin, you're dark skin, and like
That's amazing.
yeah. Check out her page. It's at Melanin Loading, and her name is Nene
On Instagram?
on Instagram. Yeah. It's
People don't realize that we need to stick together, light and dark. Like, we need to like,
regardless of your hue.
we are magic, guys. Like all black people, all of us, we are magic. We're amazing. We're trending. Everyone wants to be like us,
Yes.
dark or light.
Yeah.
So we need to actually praise each other,
Exactly.
uplift each other instead of fighting against each other. Because the colorism thing is only in a community.
Yeah.
Well, it happens outside too, but like it's
We
big
can't have
like
it.
in a
We can't have it in our
Yeah.
community. When we come together, we'll be yo, like precious.
You guys.
I don't know. I swear to God, this is the third time.
Are you actually eating?
No, like the question is like, am I 10 or what?
Precious, you ate that.
It's fine. 10
Am
seconds.
I not?
Okay. I think we can end the video here. Who wants to do the outro?
African kids starving.
Okay, there we go. Who wants to do the outro?
going to send
But also,
Guys, why do you have to be African?
I know.
can someone end the video?
I'm just saying.
Okay. Can someone?
Black is beautiful.
Black is beautiful, regardless
No matter
of
what
the
the skin
hue.
tone is.
We should embrace each other, regardless.
We are magic.
Love yours, in the words of J. Cole. Always love yours.
I'm not black, I'm OJ. No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave some comments.